Hey everybody, have you ever heard somebody say that a hitter is trying to launch the ball too much? This phrase is one of the most misunderstood metrics in baseball. So today I want to talk about the difference between launch angle, attack angle, and what it means to get your bat in the right place.
What's up, everyone? I'm Patrick Hogg, a certified strength and conditioning coach and Driveline certified baseball coach with over 10 years of experience. I help athletes of all abilities train with purpose by designing programs that meet you where you are, bring every aspect of training together, and develop the skills you need for excellence to compete at the next level.
While analytics has taken over the game, the difference between launch angle and attack angle is still pretty confusing to a lot of people. For anybody that was watching the World Series this year, you know that John Smoltz was the color commentator on the call for Fox. John Smoltz, Hall of Fame pitcher. Love listening to what he has to say, the value he adds to the game. I loved watching him pitch in his prime. Awesome baseball announcer. One of the things he talked about as the Dodgers were struggling in the series is that the hitters were trying to launch the ball too much. Now, he was absolutely correct in the Dodgers' approach and how they needed to change based on the way they were attacked as hitters. But I think the phrase or saying that the Dodgers hitters were trying to launch the ball is a little bit of a misnomer, or it's a little bit of a confusing aspect for a lot of people that are trying to explain hitting or young hitters that are trying to adjust from what they hear and what they see to what they're doing in the cages and working on their own swing. So today I wanted to break down a little bit of those differences, what John Smoltz meant when he was talking about that, and how that relates to hitters themselves in the game. So to clear things up, we're going to be talking about the swing in two distinct parts, and we're going to define those. We've got everything that's happening before contact and everything that's happening after contact. All right? So let's start with our definitions. We're going to talk about attack angle versus launch angle. Okay? So, attack angle is everything we're doing as we're getting towards the ball. The launch angle then is everything that happens with the ball after contact. Attack angle is everything we're doing with the bat on the way towards the ball. Okay, so in this example, are we coming straight at the ball? Are we coming from below? Or are we coming from above? This would be a negative, this would be a positive, and this would be a 0 degree attack angle. Okay? Launch angle is everything that happens after contact. It is where the ball is being redirected. So, once we have contact with the ball, is it have an upwards trajectory, flat, or is it hit down towards the ground? All right. So a ball that's hit straight up and is a pop-up, that's a 90-degree launch angle. And if it's hit straight down onto the plate, that would be a 0-degree launch angle. Okay? Let's focus on attack angle. Attack angle is measured with the last few milliseconds as the bat is traveling through the hitting zone on its way to making contact with the ball. The goal isn't just to swing up, but it's to best match the plane that the ball is on and get your bat in a collision path to it. The longer the bat is matching the ball's path, the more margin of error we have for squaring that ball up. Now here's the thing. The average fastball comes in to the plate at a negative 5-degree angle, which means if we want the best chance of a collision, we need our bat to be coming up through the zone at a positive 5-degree angle. All right. So if we take a look, right, as a triangle, this is definitely not to scale. All right. This is the height of the pitcher. This is the distance to the plate. This is where the ball is traveling. Okay. So that means if the ball is traveling at this angle, this is the path, the general path. I need to get my bat to be meeting this baseball somewhere in this path. This is going to give me the best opportunity to make good contact with this ball right here. Launch angle, on the other hand, is pretty straightforward. It's the result of the baseball after it's hit the bat. And we can read that pretty simply. After the ball is pitched, did we hit a pop-up fly ball? Did we hit a line drive back to the pitcher? Or did we hit it on the ground? Okay? So whatever happens with this baseball, our bat makes contact with it. If the bat can hit the top of the ball, that would result in the ball going down. I can hit it perfectly flush. And it would probably make the ball pretty much go straight. But what we're trying to do, since we already talked about the ball coming down slightly, if this bat is traveling this way, and we're able to hit the ball right about here, this ball is going to take off in a positive trajectory. All right. The launch angle we're looking for is about 25 degrees. Okay, 20 to 25 degrees, and there's going to be a lot of nuance in that. For perspective, a pop-up or a fly ball is considered 35 degrees. All right, which makes it even more incredible when you think about Shohei Ohtani hitting home runs with a 42-degree launch angle. Pretty insane. Now that we've broken down the two different angles and the collision that's resulting in those two angles, we're going to talk about the contact point. Because where the ball is contacted is going to have a huge influence or direct influence on what happens with the baseball. Okay? As we're trying to hit inside this tunnel, as this ball is traveling down, I need to line up the bat properly. If my bat is coming this way, and it's coming straight this way, I'm going to top the ball, and I'm going to have a topspin ground ball to the infielder. If I didn't match the angle, and I came from this way, and the bat came through this way, then I'm really going to top spin this ball, and it's going to hit down right in front of home plate. Okay? Another way is if I manage to get down here, and if I'm going straight along this path, matching this path of the ball, but I hit just the bottom part, I'm going to backspin this ball and get this in the air. And at this angle, probably going to be too high and it's going to be a pop-up. All right. Similarly, if I come in too steep, I can still hit the top of the ball and create back top spin and hit a ground ball. This is no different than lines on a graph. All right. If I have a perfectly straight line here, this ball is going to intersect. All right. And if this is 0 degrees and this ball is this path, and again, this is not to scale. This is even steeper than what we're looking for. But if this angle is 5 degrees, this is my contact point. This is where they intersect. I want to have the best chance for redirecting this ball positively. So if this ball is going this way, I'm trying to match it going this way. So when we talk about attack angle and launch angle, we're always talking about ranges because it's pretty difficult to get a specific number time and time again. So if this is the flat line, I want my swing to be between here and here on this way up. So that way I'm hitting between here and here as a launch angle, keeping it above the ground. These numbers right here are going to be between 8, 12 degrees, whereas this we want between 20 to 25 degrees. All right. Again, we're talking about just a basic fastball. I'm not trying to get into the weeds too much. I'm just trying to give a simple explanation to help visualize this process. This brings us to why hitting is so damn hard. The pitcher is actively trying to disrupt our perfect plan. Okay? So, if I have this strike zone, this is my strike zone, this is the top of the zone, this is the bottom of the zone. Okay? I've got a baseball coming in here. If I'm seeing a high fastball, my barrel is going to come through the zone, and I'm trying to make a path that's going to hit there. If the ball is at the bottom of the zone, I need to adjust my swing to get it down to hit the same part of the ball in order to produce the same kind of launch angle. So obviously my target area is very different here. Okay? If I'm expecting a baseball to be middle, and I start my approach to hit there, but all of a sudden the ball ends up being high, it's not where I expected it to be, my adjustment then becomes way steeper than my 8 to 12 degrees. Okay, now we're pushing 20 to 25 degree attack angle. All right, and this is going to have a much lower chance of having a positive collision because I have a ball traveling up here and I'm trying to hit this way. This intersection point is not very great. I have a small margin of error. Okay, similarly, what happens much more times is I've got a ball that's headed towards the top of the zone. That's coming in. Okay. This might be like with a curveball, splitter, something that falls off the table, as they say, right? I'm geared up to hit this ball at the top of the zone. But when it gets to the zone, it's down here. So now I'm trying to chase and go down after that ball, right? Which leads to a lot of ground balls. And when we talk about ground ball pitchers, this is why they do things effectively, because it drops down. Now, let me throw you one more wrinkle. If this is the zone and I'm expecting fastball, near the top of the zone, this fastball is coming in. We talked about it being down, the average fastball being about 5 degrees. All right. So this is coming down to 5 degrees, very slight angle. I'm trying to swing up. I could have the same fastball, same speed, in the same place in the hitting zone or the strike zone, but with 2 different spin rates. Okay? So if a pitcher, an elite pitcher who can spin the ball faster, the baseball is going to be right here versus the pitcher whose fastball doesn't spin as much. It's not going to be significant to the naked eye, but that baseball is going to be down here. Okay, so notice if I look at the bottom of the baseball, talking about game of inches, if I'm geared up for the pitcher with the slower RPMs or the slower spin rate, is what I'm used to seeing, I'm ready to hit right here. That pitcher with the high spin rate, or a better pitcher than I'm used to seeing, I'm going to swing right under the ball, or slightly foul tip it. All right, and this is why major league hitters get paid hundreds of millions of dollars. The last metric we're going to talk about today is exit velocity. This is the number that's going to tie everything together. It's going to make the attack angle, the launch angle, the contact point, all of that is going to put it to purpose. All right. The harder I hit the ball, the further it's going to travel. If I hit it with the right angle, then it's going to travel even further before it hits the ground. It's got more time before gravity works to pull that ball back down to earth. All right. So a barreled ball in the major leagues is when you have a 98 mile per hour exit velocity. You can have a launch angle between 25 and 30 degrees to be successful. Again, this is major league numbers. Get that number to 100, then your margin of error for launch angle becomes between 24 and 33 degrees. So remember earlier when I talked about Shohei Ohtani hitting home runs with a launch angle of 42 degrees? That's because he hits the ball 120 miles per hour. So that's how all these numbers add up. So if you're in Little League or if you're in high school, you're probably not consistently hitting the ball 98 to 100 miles per hour. All right. So the higher the launch angles, if I'm hitting a ball 42 degrees or 33 degrees with an exit velocity of 80 to 85 miles per hour, that's going to be an easy catch for an outfielder or possibly an infielder every single time. All right. So there is context. We have to hit the ball hard. That comes from bat speed. and that's going to be a metric for another video. But I wanted to really break down in this video just what the difference is when I'm trying to launch versus when I'm trying to meet the ball and have that approach, and how those things kind of differentiate from each other. So in closing, both attack angle and launch angle are important metrics to know and understand. They correlate to each other, but one is not directly responsible because there's so many other factors. There's contact point, there's swing velocity, there's exit velocity, there's pitch direction and pitch shape and those kind of things. Hitting is really hard. But what's important to remember is when we have the right approach and our swing is in the right place, then we can give ourselves the best chance of success. Again, this video is more about defining concepts and kind of visualizing what those concepts are and what those metrics are. By no means is telling you what you should do or how you should create your swing. All right, you want to talk to your coaches about that and to give you the best chance of success at your level and the next level that you're trying to get to. I'd love to continue this discussion. Let me know if you have any questions. You can reach out, you can DM or leave a comment, and I'd be happy to get back to you and possibly do another video about this in the future. Thanks, everybody.